Hi. When it comes to visions, you need to understand that there are two main types of visions. One, we have the open vision. Two, we have the closed vision. Why is it called an open vision? It's not because you see the vision whilst your eyes are open. That is not it. When we say an open vision is simply the kind of vision you see whilst your conscious mind remains active. It means I am fully aware of my surroundings, yet I had a glimpse of the vision. And when we talk about closed vision, is the kind of vision where your conscious mind is suspended for a second or a minute. So in other words, you can call it a trance. You see that? So now, when you come to visions, visions have its way of expressing itself to you. And if you don't understand the language of visions, you are going to be beaten about the bush as a prophet. Now, we have what we call reality visions. When we say reality vision, this is a vision you receive, and exactly what you see is exactly what you saw in the vision. So for instance, I see a vision and I see your face, your name, every detail about you. And when I came back to my senses, or I was fully aware of myself, I saw you or the person I saw in the vision, and it's the same person. That is a reality vision. I remember there was a time that I had a dream, and I saw a vision of the night, and this young guy who I knew came and took my phone charger and just went and threw it away somewhere. So when I woke up the next day, I sat in the same posture, waiting to see whether it will happen. To my surprise, this guy just walked in, carried my charger, and wanted to move out with it. I said, "Sir, just stop there, because I have seen what you are going to do to the charger." And I asked him, "Where are you sending this charger to?" The guy said, actually, he didn't know why he's picking the charger. You see that? That is a reality vision. What you see in the vision is exactly what is happening. So such a vision is not coded, and you don't need an interpretation. All you need is sensitivity. All you need is to be sensitive. Okay? You don't need anybody to interpret to you. You don't need to know any other meaning of symbols, signs, numbers to be able to interpret that. Now, the second kind of vision is what we call the symbolic vision. When we say something is symbolic, what does it mean? Symbols and signs represent the actual thing. For instance, my image or my picture may be my symbol. It points to me. A signboard points to the actual thing. So when a sign is positioned, it's telling you the thing in a coded language. The code can be a number, it can be letters, it can be something in a form of a portrait, a picture, an image. Just like God told Jeremiah, "What do you see?" In Jeremiah chapter 1 verses 11, Jeremiah said, "I see an almond branch, the branch of an almond tree." And the Lord said, "Jeremiah, you have seen well." And began to show Jeremiah the meaning of it. Then he came again and said, "What do you see the second time?" Jeremiah said, "I see a pot, which leads tilts to the north. And this pot was on fire, which means it contains boiling water. And the Lord said, what you have seen means that judgment is coming to the north." So you need to understand that signs and symbols point to the actual thing. So any vision you see that there is a number involved, a letter involved, and there is something like a sign across, trees, colors, you should know that those visions are what we call symbolic visions, or in other words, coded vision. Okay, symbolic visions. And those visions require interpretation. And in most of the case, you need to rely on your intuition for interpretation, or you rely on your ability to understand certain basic meaning of numbers and symbols based on biblical interpretation, or your local way of interpreting it. You see that? Now, listen and listen carefully. There is also another kind of vision we call the parabolic vision. These are mostly visions that comes in storytelling. You see maybe yourself catching fish in the sea. That should point to you that God has an assignment for you to fish men. You see that? But you saw it as you were catching something, but it has a very deeper meaning. Jesus used parable to explain a lot of things in the scriptures. So most dreams do come as parables. And a lot of us have experienced parabolic dreams so many times. Whilst you can see yourself walking around a grave, and you should know the grave represents death. You should know that you walking around is something else you need to deal with. Maybe you saw some kind of animal, and this animal was busy chasing you. All these things are parabolic. It's a storytelling, a storyline in the dream form, but has a very deeper meaning. And you need to really sit down to analyze the story. You analyze the animal that was chasing you. You analyze the environment that it took place. You analyze how you were running. If you were weak in your running, it means that your spiritual life is sinking. So you need to push up because something is after you. You see that? So parabolic visions or dreams, yes, are something you don't joke with. They need to be interpreted. And now, what we say an interpretation. Interpretation is different from translation. Interpretation is given the meaning. So you can receive a 30 minutes dream and the interpretation could just be 2 lines or just a word. It could all be favor is coming to you. It could all be death is after you. I hope somebody's catching it. Now we have vision number 4, which is also the type of vision you need to know. This is the most difficult vision any man can ever interpret. And that kind of vision is what we call the puzzle vision or the riddle vision. Have you ever played a puzzle game or a riddle kind of vision game? Now, when we talk about a puzzle, you see, it is so scattered and you need to arrange it. There are visions that comes in pieces that you need to keep, carry here, connect here, join this one, join in order to get the actual meaning. This is mostly the most difficult one of all the various type of visions. But guess what? When you are strengthened in the Holy Ghost and filled with the Holy Spirit, interpreting it is simple. So you need your intuition to give you the actual reason for all that dream, all that vision, the vision you've had which has been scattered abroad. Sometimes you can receive about 20 visions in your dream or 20 visions in a day or within some, and all of it wants to point to one thing, but it is so scattered. When your intuition is built, it's easy to understand it. When we say understanding with your intuition, it means going above trying to analyze, but just relying on it and what your spirit tells you about it, you accept it and you run with it. You see that? Now, when a vision is coming, what you need to know is that a vision can come to you, in you, or you in the vision. There are two ways that you can experience a vision: the vision that you are in and the vision that is in you. The vision that is in you is that type of vision we call the Hazon. When we say the Hazon, is an Hebrew word explaining a mental vision, a vision that is happening within your mind. And we have what we call the Mara. Mara is a kind of vision where you are in the vision. You could see your entire self in the vision. I remember once upon a time I was going through a season of fast. And whilst I was fasting here and there, then I wanted to take a rest in my room. The moment I slept, before I realized I woke up, and I saw two men sitting on my sofa. I was so amazed, but fear never gripped me, because the state I was, I knew there was something within me that strengthened me to be able to stand that experience. So I saw these two people were busy chatting, and they were talking about me, and I was so glued with their conversation. These were angels. While they kept talking, then I began to also ask them questions, and we were talking. Somebody entered the room and find that I was talking to them, but they couldn't see them, but I was seeing them, and they were so crystallized, and it was so crystal clear that these beings were sitting and were discussing the meeting, because I had a meeting which I wanted to do. So whilst we were talking, I enjoyed it. Before I realized, it was like a wind that blew my eyes, and it entered me. And I came back to my senses, and I was like, was I not talking to two people here? There I realized that this was an angelic visitation, and that is the Mara level we are talking about. That was the level that made Peter to think whether he was really dreaming in the prison. Because when the angel descended and carried him out, he thought he was still dreaming, but he didn't know that it was a reality. Daniel experienced that. You see that? I pray for you that you will walk in this dimension also. Listen to me, there are dimensions you've not hit yet. But listen, I trust that you will learn to join the prophetic class, because I see God has something in this season for you. If there is anyone who is saying there is nothing, oh come on, all these guys are joking, he has not seen anything yet. I want to tell you, there are men in their corner and in their secret places experiencing a lot of things. I remember there was a man who traveled all the way from Nigeria and came to me. I know by now he's watching this video. Now, he came to me just to know what I have been experiencing. He really wanted to experience that encounter in his life. So when he came, we were in the room, and I showed him one or two things in the Lord. These are principles in the scriptures. Oh yeah, the ordings. When the 9th hour came, I just gave him the opportunity to minister. I said, minister, Philo. This man was amazed of the move of God. It was so strange. When we finished, this was someone who God has been using all these years, has been preaching all these years. But when he encountered this, he said, prophet, something about me has changed. And I've begun to see that there is deeper realms in the prophetic and also in the demonstration of the Spirit and the power. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, there are things men do know that you don't know. Follow this video. Stay blessed. Learn to share, like. Love you so much. Hope to see you physically one day. Prophesy to nations. See you at the top. God bless you. Bye.